So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I'll just stand back from that. I'm gonna turn off
Okay,
my camera too.
okay, okay. So I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
So, well, yeah. Basically, let's explain the basics around this platform. The applications you create in an Apphive are grouped by projects. So each project is a group of applications, so a set of applications that share the same database and also communicate uh, between them. For example, if you create an application for a delivery, most of the examples are for taxis or delivery. There, well, you can create a lot of applications, like, well, any kind of applications. But most of my examples I do with that because it's the most common. Well, applications are the most popular. No? So if you create, for example, an application for delivery, there are 4 applications inside. The project is only one, but you have many applications inside. These applications are sharing the same database. What means to share the same database? For example, if you have the products inside, so you have the products here, and the products are important for all the applications that you have in your project, because the final user needs to show the products to order them. The restaurants need to update the products according what they offer. The deliverer needs to know what is going to receive, and the administrator is going to see everything. So it's important to share the database in all the applications, and it doesn't mean that everyone can change. So obviously the user can change the products, but the restaurant can. Uh, but the important is that all will see the same data. And also, all the applications inside the same project can communicate in different ways. For example, send push notifications between each other. So this is the basics. So at the beginning, you need to define what is your project and what are the applications you are going to create. You can combine multiple applications into one. For example, you can use the same application for the restaurant and for the user, and only according to the profile of the user, redirect the user to a different windows. But uh, it's not a good practice because it becomes complex to maintain the application after you launch it, because you will have many screens on a single application, and also when the user download the application is not going to use a lot of the screens they have in the application, only according to the profile. So the best recommendation is to create an application for every type of user you are going to have, and so you can separate the application with every case of use, and you can communicate the application between each other. Okay, so well, this is the first thing. Once you have your application created, you have, well, I'm going to open this application I have for testings. Once you have your application, well, I'm going to create a new project. So you have to name your project. Let's call my new project and the name of your application. This is the first application in your project. You can have multiple applications in your project. Also the logo and, well, the subscription. And now, this is where you start when you want to create your application. The first thing is to add the screens you will need in your app. You always start creating the application with the design. So previously you need to know what are the needs that your application is going to solve, and also it's a good practice to check another application can do the same or something similar, because you can have more ideas, and you don't need to think about all the screens, you can copy some of them. We also already have pre-made templates for screens. So you will see, well, we have the screen for login, the home screen, the screen for the user profile, and also you can see many page templates that you can use in your application depending of the needs you have in your application. So the second step is do that. Also, you can add, for example, a splash screen in your app, and you can drag and drop and order the screens that your application is going to need. Okay, so this is like create a basic sketch of your application, but at the end, you will use these screens to add the functionalities your application is going to need. So after you have the screens that your application is going to need, the next step is, well, you can modify all these elements. We have the templates, and also if you want to add an empty screen, you can do that. And to add elements to your screen, you just need to drag and drop the controls from the right side, and you can resize these controls. You will see that you have basic controls on the right side, but they are enough to create most of the interface you need in your application. I'm going to show you why. Because you have an option for customize them, and well, the most useful for create layouts on the application is to use the container. The container can have multiple controls inside, even another containers, and you can resize this container according to your needs. To create a responsive application, the recommendation is to create the basic container layout using percentage. You see here you have the width and the height, and if you enable this and you see this is in blue, it means that it's enabled, or it's in gray, is disabled. So the basic layout, for example, is 80% height and 100% width, which is, well, 80% of the screen. And then I'm going to add another container for example, 10% height. You can move the containers also, or any control, by using the arrows in your key. So I can move this on the top. You see that all the elements are related to each other. This is because on this way you can you can create responsive applications. For example, that adapts to different kind of screens on the phones. So this is the basic layout. You have one container at the top, 10% height, one container in the middle, 80% height, and the container on the bottom. I'm going to change the color, so make this easier to differentiate between each other. Okay, so we have these containers. And also you can start adding some elements. You can divide if you need split the containers. For example, you can split the containers in percentage here in the options. You have 3 tabs here. The first is for all the styles and things. It changes according to the element that is selected. For example, if I select a button, you will see that the options are different when I select the container, because it changed according to the element that is selected. Also, well, it's next to elements, so make it easier to know what is the selected element. Also, you have here the selected element, so you can select, for example, the page or the button. Just click on it. And the second tab is for options related to the element selected. And also it changed. For example, if I want to add an icon to my button, I have the option here. And also, if I want to split the container I have here, or in that case, I can split this container. Okay, so after you have your containers and also the split containers you need, you can align these items with these controls you have at the top and the left of the screens. So you can align the items inside these containers. All the elements are related to each other, but if you want to have different alignments on the same screen, the way to do that is to add a container. So for example, you can add a container and an element inside, and you can align this container, well, this element inside this container to the right, and have the other, well, align it to the whole left, for example. So using the containers, you can create almost every configuration in layouts. And at the same time as the containers are on percentage, you are creating a responsive application that can adapt to the different screen sizes. Okay, so on this way, you can add different controls to your screen. For example, an image, add different fields. For example, to create a sign-up page. And some of these controls have the option to customize the options by double click on it. For example, if you double click on the image, you can upload your image for your computer. You can use the Unsplash. You can upload SVGs, and also you can use Lotties for animations if you want to add animations to your images you have in your screen. You can also customize each element, change the colors, the placeholder, the text color, according to the style you need in your application. And these styles are related to each element, but also we offer the possibility to change all the styles for all the application in case you are rebranding your application, or if you created a template and you want to use in another brand colors, you have in this second tab all the global style colors, so you can change everything from here. And you see that all the application color change at the same time. It happened with all, if you use the palette color you have here, because if you use the custom color, it's not going to change when you change the palette color. But this is a great way to create templates you can reutilize with different brandings. Also the same with the typography, and you can select different fonts and even upload your own fonts to use in the application. Okay, so after you create these basics sign up, after you create this basic layout, email and password, or for example, you can copy and paste in the same way. Name. If you need to delete an element, just click on delete on your keyboard. And also, you can go back. You have also versions, and you can do and redo and undo. So it's basically as any other editor. And in this way, you need to create the screens that your application is going to use. After you have all the screens of your application, you can test this when you are creating directly on your phone or in the web version. You need to choose what is the first screen of your application by selecting this on the left side. So maybe I want to see how this page looks on my phone. So I only select this as the first screen and click here. And you can scan this QR code to download the previewer. The previewer for now is only available for Android, but also we have the previewer web So it's the same. It's the application, and also you can use the application here if you want to test it, or if you have an Android, you can use in your Android and check it. We are launching the iOS version. The applications can be built for iOS, but it's not available yet, the previewer on the App Store. So once you have your screen with all the styles on your elements and you preview it and it's everything okay, the next step is to start adding the functions. This is the most powerful part we have on Apphive. These functions are added on the last tab we have here, and you have events. The first thing is to add an event. All the functions start with an event. An event can be when the page loads, when it loads the first time, or every time that this page loads. Also, an event related to an interaction from the user. For example, when the user press the sign up button or on long press, well, each element has different events according to the elements and the interaction. So I'm going to add an event on press when I press the sign up button. And then I have a list of many functionalities that I can add to my application. Functionalities related to the controls. So these functions are to modify the controls on this screen related to the users, to sign up users, to login users, login with social networks, set information from the users, get information from the users. Cloud database is all the functions related to the database on cloud. And also we have functionalities for the local database. If you want to create some functionalities offline. Functions for logic, conditionals, concat for each, all the functions you need for create logic in your application, to launch notifications inside the applications. Functions related to the phone APIs. For example, all the native functions in your applications, it can be from make a call, print using a printer connected by Bluetooth in the device, obtain the device info, read QR codes, read SMS, play audios, take photos, take videos, copy to clipboard, like all the functions that are connected to the native functions in the phone. Also, we have functions for geolocation. You can get the geolocation using the GPS, and also search for near places by using the geolocation, and tracking the user even on the background. So you can track the users even when the application is closed. Push notification to send different push notification. AdMob to display ads in the application. Google Analytics to track certain events and register on Google Analytics. We also have the navigation functions. We have the navigation functions to push a screen, to replace a screen, and also the payments. We have in-app purchase, and for Android and iOS. And also you can integrate with another platforms by API that I'm going to show you in a moment. So the next step to create this screen is to add the function for sign up. With this function, you have in all the functions you have two steps. The first is to define entry bars that are the variables that you need to execute that function. For example, you need an email, a name, a password, or a phone to create a new user account. And you have these elements. You have the email, the name, the password. You can name, well, this is a placeholder, but you can rename the elements for internal use. For example, here, name, email, and password. So it makes it easy to identify the elements when you need this in the function. So I'm changing the name of the control for internal use. So I'm going to select these elements I have on the left screen. I'm going to select the email, the name, and the password. Okay. So the phone is optional. So I'm going to create a new account. When I click on this button, I'm going to read the value from these three controls. And then I have the callbacks. The callbacks are what is going to happen after this function execute. You have different options. For example, if there is an error, if there was success, or if the email already exists. And in the same way, you have the functions. What do you want that this happen after the user success creating a new account? For example, you can replace the screen, the top page, and go to home, and you can have an animation here. Well, this is another function to replace the top page. So when I click on sign up, the sign up function is going to execute. And if the register is a success, I'm going to redirect the user to the home screen. So this is a very basic flow. But the important here is that you can add as many functions as you need in the order you need, and add the functions after the callback execute. So it makes that unlimited options what you can do in your application. And you can test your application here. For example, I'm going to create a new account and then test name Jonathan and create a password. Yeah, well, you can change the option to hide the password if you need. And I click on sign up, and then this is going to create a new account. Well, just a moment. I need to, let's see if there is an error here. I can send an alert in case of error, and this displays something happen. Well, that's yeah, it's just take a moment. You can also add loaders. For example, I can enable a page loading after I press, and enable a loading, and add an order and turn off the loading after successful loading. No, to make it easy, I can copy these functions, and now I enable the loading and disable after the success. No, so I can do it again. So I'm going to create an account. So when I click on sign up, you see that now the loader is displayed, and after a successful login, I'm redirected to the home screen. Yes, because if you don't add the loader, sometimes, yeah, you don't know if something is happening or not. So this is the basic function, and you can have in the same way functions on different screens. For example, if you add the login by using Google, you add the function here on press users login with Google. In this case, you don't need anything as an entry bar. You have the option to always ask for the user account or not. And after a successful login, you have different options here. Well, the different callbacks, because sometimes could be an error, or if there is another login in progress, or if the Play services are not available, for example, in some Huawei phones, or if they click on cancel. But after a successful login, also you can replace the screen and send the user to the home screen, for example. And you can see that if I reload here, now I add this function to the sign in with Google, and you see the screen, which is the account. And well, I didn't have the loading animation, but I am redirected to the home screen after a successful log. So in this way, you can have as many functions as you need. Also, you can save the information or read the information with the pre-integrated database. You have here a database within the editor, for example, for products, and you have, for example, the properties, the name of the product, the price, the description, and you have the database here, and you can add the records manually or by using the functions in the application, but you have this available over here. Also, when you are working in your application, there are versions generated automatically each 30 movements, so you can't go back if you want to load a version. And also you can create a new manual version of your application. So if everything is okay or if it's tested, you can save a version and go back later, because we already have the version control included in the application. Well, this is in general way. There are many functionalities, there are many controls you can use in your application, but well, the thing is to keep learning. We have a lot of content right now in Spanish on your YouTube channel, but also we have a channel on English that we are where we are uploading a lot of tutorials how to use the platform. Here is also a video for a quick introduction, and you have, for example, this playlist with many controls you have in the application. For example, how to compile for iOS, how to accept bit containments, how to add a splash screen. And also we have tutorials like how to create an application like Uber Eats, and step-by-step how to do that. So we have a lot of video, and we are uploading videos every week with explanation how to learn Apphive. Also, we have documentation available here in docs.apphive.io, and you can choose the English version. And we have the explanation of many controls and the styles and the data each of these controls have. That all the controls you have available here, and the functions you have over here. Also, in each function you have the option for help. So if you click on it, you will see the information related to this function. So you have help for each function you have available in the platform. And what happened after you finish your application? Well, you have questions. Yes, the API functionality. Yeah, if you want to have an API, I also am going to share with you there is a video I have here that I'm sending you for more information. But yeah, you can check the video. In this video, I explain how to integrate a basic API. But in general, you have the options here on settings, on add-ons, and you have many APIs pre-integrated you can use in your application. For example, if you want to integrate with Stripe, you enable the Stripe integration. You have your API key here and save. And after you enable any of these APIs you have available, you can go to your application and you will see the options as any other function. You have all the Stripe, for example, integration here for create a card, create an invoice, create a payment intent, retrieve, and it works in the same way that other functions does. So if you want to, for example, create a We'll retrieve let's see, a most common function. For example, create a customer. If you want to create a customer, you need the customer name and the email. And in the same way you created the sign up, you can use this function and it's connected to the API. You will see this message when you add the APIs, because it's a good practice to do not add the APIs call directly as a function here. Instead of this, you can create a process, and a process is a group of functions in your application. For example, payments, receive payments, and here you can add functions. Basically, you are creating your own function based on another function. For example, you can create a function receiving the amount and the description. And you can have callbacks for success and error. So inside, you can have the functions you need. For example, you can create the customer and then add a card. For example, create a card, and you can add all these functions here, and then turn this function on cloud. What on cloud means? On cloud means that this function is going to execute on the server. Is the backend. You are creating the backend of your application instead of only execute this function on the phone. This is great because it's more secure, because all this is going to happen on the server, and you are going to send this to parameters, and all this process are going to happen in the backend, and you are going to get the results for success or error on the front. You can call the callbacks for success or error, and return any results, a result of your function. There's a video I sent you with more information about it, and also about what is this for cloud functions, because also help you to create the backend. And you can create your own integrations. This is in the video also, because if you're in the home screen and click on this option, you can create your own integration. For example, I have this over here for Ricky Martin that I create for that video, and you have the definition of the versions of the integration. And this definition is basically, if you have used Postman, it's very similar. Well, basically, it's a copy where you have the base URL, the inputs, and the categories, and you can define if it's a get, post, put, call, delete, the endpoint, the input fields, the information you are going to send on the body, on the headers, the output you are going to get, and you declare this or create this category for the declaration for your integration for API. And after you create your API, you can use in any applications you have. So you can use this integration. You can keep this integration private, or you can make this integration public and share with the others. But we already have dozens of API integrations, and you can create your own integration and use in your API when you need it. And well, this is the general about API. There are a lot to say about APIs, but this video I sent you in the comments will help you a lot. Well, I created in that video basic integration with that API. Get this information from the API and display the results on a screen on the application. So you can do the same with different API, and you can integrate with basically any platform that you need to integrate in your application that have an API available. And then what happened after you finish? Well, you finish the design. Well, you create the applications you need. You add the screens, the layouts, the styles. You added the functions, saves into the database or integrations you need, and you finish your application. You can test your application all the time, and on the results you see on the previewer or on the phone or on the web version is exactly the same that you are going to get after the application is published. So you can see the result without compile the application, and all the changes are updated automatically. It's all real time. After you finish your application, you need to go here to publish the application and click on new compilation. And you have the option for Android and for iOS. You need your own developer accounts since the application is published on your own account. In case of Google Play for Android, you download the APK and you upload to your account. And in case of iOS, we ask you for some keys, and we send the application directly to your developer account on the App Store, and then you can publish the application under your own account. Also, the application, when it's published, is deployed to your own Firebase account. What it means that we don't keep the data, and you can save all the data that you need, and you pay directly Firebase for your storage. And also they have a general free layer. So you have, for example, you can have for the real-time database. Well, if it's on the premium plan, and also include the free layer, you can have until 200,000 simultaneous connection. It's not expensive because you pay $5 for gigabyte store in the database, and $1 for each gigabyte downloaded for the transfer. Also for the storage, all is in your own account. It allows you to integrate with another platform, or even later create another applications and connect with your own data, because all is yours. After the application is compiled, is in your own backend and doesn't depend in any way to the Apphive platform. And when you publish your application, you need to follow the steps. We're going to ask you for the service account to create a new account on Firebase. We deploy the front end. Well, we give you the APK or deploy the application for iOS, and also we create the database on Firebase, and we deploy the functions on Firebase functions for your backend. So all the application after deployed is 100% independent of the backend we have. So, and you can keep updating the application on this testing environment, and you will see that after deploy the application, you have the development data and the production data. So you can see the production data, but you can keep working on the development environment, so you can keep updating the application without affecting the application that is in production. So that's the basics. So the invitation is to, well, continue, like, follow the different tutorials. We are having these webinars every week talking about more specific topics. In the next is about the database and the data management. And next, I don't remember exactly, I think it's about design. So we're explaining you how to use the platform in a better way. And also we are publishing very consultative videos on or English channel. We have hundreds of tutorials in Spanish right now, but we are translating and creating this new content because we are opening this new market for non-Spanish speaking users. So, well, that's basically how we get and manage customers and subscribers who log in. Okay, great question. Okay. Yeah, after this meet, you are receiving this recording on your email, so you can access to them. If you have any questions, send me a message on the same email you received the invitation for the webinar. But you're receiving this. How to manage the users? In each application, when you open the application and go to settings, you will see the members. And you have all the members for test members that are the members created, the users created on the development environment. And also you have the production members that are the users created in the production environment. And at the same way, the production members, you will see this on your Firebase accounts, and since they are saved here on the authentication. So, well, in this account, I don't have any, but if you go here, you will see also the members because they are created directly on your Firebase accounts. So on this way, you can export and import users. Also because, well, they are stored in your account, but you can manage this user also here, and you can add members directly by using the dashboard or by using the functions you have in your application. As the same way, for example, the applications I was working a moment ago at, what was it? It was the Pro. I remember what is the application I was working a moment. That's this one. Yeah. So for example, on this application, you go to settings and you have the editors because you can add another user to edit the application. And also you have the option to add testers. If you want someone just access to the previewer to test the application, but without change anything, or you can add another users as an editor for your application. And we have here the members. You will see we have the email for the users I just used for this demo. Okay, you have this informative for push customer token. It means that you have the options to ask the user permission to receive push notifications. So if the user accepted or created a token, you will see this on green. It doesn't mean that the user is not approved. It means that the user can receive push notification. Okay, and you can manage the user here, download the user, or set user custom data, and also do the same with the functions. I want to create an OMS app. Can you make a tutorial there for me? Yeah, I received your email. Yeah, in fact, I am recording some tutorials this week. So if I finish the basic, I'm sending you this week. If not, at least for the next week. But I think it's an interesting thing to create an LMS application. I don't have a tutorial right now, so it's a great opportunity to create one. I'm going to create the basic. You know, there are more complex functionality that you can add, but I'm going to create a tutorial for you with the basics and share with you. And also you have the option, well, I don't know, it's up to you. You can create an independent platform, or you can connect with another platform, for example, with a WordPress or with mobile. You can connect also your application with your own backend if you're already home. You get more customers. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely we need to create more tutorials on English, and we're working hard on this. In fact, AppSumo was the first approach we have with the not Spanish customers. So that's why when you search for the information and about Apphive, you find a lot of information in Spanish. But I promise you that we're creating a lot of in English. I have WordPress. Okay, so yeah, I think integrate with WordPress will be a good option, since like you can create conflicts functionalities as I show you in the platform. But sometimes a good recommendation is don't recreate something that already exists. So if you already have the user control, I don't know, to manage the post, and you have all these already on WordPress, a good idea is instead of recreate all this logic, you can connect with WordPress and use WordPress as a backend and only create it in the front end in the application, so you can manage all the content for your courses from WordPress, and you have this information automatically on your application. The only thing is to make sure that you have all these your server responds in fast to have a good experience in the application. So yeah, I'm creating this tutorial. For sure, I'm publishing in the channel, and also I'm sharing with you in the conversation we have on the support channel. Okay, so for now is all. And stop the recording.